untuk memperoleh data genetik dan genomik pasien dengan penyakit tertentu. RSPI Sulianti Saroso sebagai Center of Excellence Penyakit Infeksi ditunjuk sebagai hub dalam program pengembangan BGSi untuk penyakit infeksi, dan tuberkulosis dipilih menjadi topik pertama yang diangkat karena Indonesia merupakan salah satu negara dengan beban TBC dan TBC resisten obat tertinggi di dunia. RSPI Sulianti Saroso bersama dengan RSUP Persahabatan dan tim kerja program TB akan mengembangkan kedokteran presisi untuk penyakit TBC melalui teknologi Next Generation Sequencing dengan melibatkan berbagai profesi disiplin ilmu kedokteran. Outcome dari program ini yaitu informasi resistensi pada pasien TBC yang bermanfaat bagi kepentingan pengobatan pasien, kecepatan diagnosis TBC untuk percepatan pengendalian TBC dan data gen resistensi obat TBC di Indonesia, dan juga untuk kepentingan program penanggulangan TBC yang nantinya diperlukan untuk dasar kebijakan program TBC di Indonesia.
Excellencies, Distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, we would like to invite all of you to enter the room and be seated. Please find our ushers who are ready to guide you to your seating. For those who haven't, please make sure that you have registered at the registration table. We would like to remind everyone to switch off their mobile phones and cellular devices to silent mode throughout the proceeding of this event. We also would like to remind everyone to maintain physical distancing and adhere to the current health protocol. Your cooperation is appreciated. Thank you.
Biomedical Genome Based Science Initiative atau BGSi merupakan program nasional yang penyelenggaraannya ditetapkan berdasarkan Keputusan Menteri Kesehatan Republik Indonesia dengan melibatkan beberapa rumah sakit unit pelaksanaan Kementerian Kesehatan sebagai hub yang bertujuan untuk mengembangkan kedokteran presisi dan pelayanan kesehatan berbasis genomika. Penyelenggaraan BGSi meliputi pelaksanaan registri pasien dengan penyakit tertentu, penyimpanan spesimen biobank, pemeriksaan genome sequencing, dan analisis bioinformatika untuk memperoleh data genetik dan genomik pasien dengan penyakit tertentu. RSPI Sulianti Saroso sebagai Center of Excellence Penyakit Infeksi ditunjuk sebagai hub dalam program pengembangan BGSi untuk penyakit infeksi, dan tuberkulosis dipilih menjadi topik pertama yang diangkat karena Indonesia merupakan salah satu negara dengan beban TBC dan TBC resisten obat tertinggi di dunia. RSPI Sulianti Saroso bersama dengan RSUP Persahabatan dan tim kerja program TB akan mengembangkan kedokteran presisi untuk penyakit TBC melalui teknologi Next Generation Sequencing dengan melibatkan berbagai profesi disiplin ilmu kedokteran. Outcome dari program ini yaitu informasi resistensi pada pasien TBC yang bermanfaat bagi kepentingan pengobatan pasien, kecepatan diagnosis TBC untuk percepatan pengendalian TBC dan data gen resistensi obat TBC di Indonesia, dan juga untuk kepentingan program penanggulangan TBC yang nantinya diperlukan untuk dasar kebijakan program TBC di Indonesia. Biomedical Genome Based Science Initiative atau BGSi merupakan program nasional yang penyelenggaraannya ditetapkan berdasarkan Keputusan Menteri Kesehatan Republik Indonesia dengan melibatkan beberapa rumah sakit unit pelaksanaan Kementerian Kesehatan sebagai hub yang bertujuan untuk mengembangkan kedokteran presisi dan pelayanan kesehatan berbasis genomika. Penyelenggaraan BGSi meliputi pelaksanaan registri pasien dengan penyakit tertentu, penyimpanan spesimen biobank, pemeriksaan genome sequencing, dan analisis bioinformatika untuk memperoleh data genetik dan genomik pasien dengan penyakit tertentu. RSPI Sulianti Saroso sebagai Center of Excellence Penyakit Infeksi ditunjuk sebagai hub dalam program pengembangan BGSi untuk penyakit infeksi, dan tuberkulosis dipilih menjadi topik pertama yang diangkat karena Indonesia merupakan salah satu negara dengan beban TBC dan TBC resisten obat tertinggi di dunia. RSPI Sulianti Saroso bersama dengan RSUP Persahabatan dan tim kerja program TB akan mengembangkan kedokteran presisi untuk penyakit TBC melalui teknologi Next Generation Sequencing dengan melibatkan berbagai profesi disiplin ilmu kedokteran. Outcome dari program ini yaitu informasi resistensi pada pasien TBC yang bermanfaat bagi kepentingan pengobatan pasien, kecepatan diagnosis TBC untuk percepatan pengendalian TBC dan data gen resistensi obat TBC di Indonesia, dan juga untuk kepentingan program penanggulangan TBC yang nantinya diperlukan untuk dasar kebijakan program TBC di Indonesia.
We would like to invite all distinguished guests to enter the room and be seated. Our event will begin shortly. Please find our ushers who are ready to guide you to your seating. We would like to remind everyone to switch off their mobile phones and cellular devices to silent mode throughout the proceeding of this event. We also would like to remind everyone to maintain physical distancing and adhere to the current health protocol. Your cooperation is appreciated. Thank you.
Biomedical Genome Based Science Initiative atau BGSi merupakan program nasional yang penyelenggaraannya ditetapkan berdasarkan Keputusan Menteri Kesehatan Republik Indonesia dengan melibatkan beberapa rumah sakit unit pelaksanaan Kementerian Kesehatan sebagai hub yang bertujuan untuk mengembangkan kedokteran presisi dan pelayanan kesehatan berbasis genomika. Penyelenggaraan BGSi meliputi pelaksanaan registri pasien dengan penyakit tertentu.
We would like to invite all
Penyimpanan spesimen
distinguished guests
biobank,
to enter the room and please be seated. Our event will begin shortly.
pemeriksaan genome
Thank you.
sequencing, dan analisis bioinformatika untuk memperoleh data genetik dan genomik pasien dengan penyakit tertentu. RSPI Sulianti Saroso sebagai Center of Excellence Penyakit Infeksi ditunjuk sebagai hub
We
dalam
would like to
program
remind
pengembangan
everyone
BGSi
to
untuk
switch off their
penyakit
mobile
infeksi
phones and
dan
cellular
tuberkulosis
devices to silent mode throughout the proceeding of this event. Please find our ushers who are ready to guide you to your seating, and please be seated. Your cooperation is appreciated. Thank you.
Bersama dengan RSUP Persahabatan dan tim kerja program TB akan mengembangkan kedokteran presisi untuk penyakit TBC melalui teknologi Next Generation Sequencing dengan melibatkan berbagai profesi disiplin ilmu kedokteran. Outcome dari program ini yaitu informasi resistensi pada pasien TBC yang bermanfaat bagi kepentingan pengobatan pasien, kecepatan diagnosis TBC untuk percepatan pengendalian TBC dan data gen resistensi obat TBC di Indonesia, dan juga untuk kepentingan program penanggulangan TBC yang nantinya diperlukan untuk dasar kebijakan program TBC di Indonesia.
The Excellencies are entering the room. All distinguished guests, please be seated and be ready for the beginning of our event. His Excellency, Mr. Luhut Binsar Panjaitan, Minister of Coordinating Ministry for Maritime and Investment Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia, His Excellency, Mr. Budi Gunadi Sadikin, Minister of Health of the Republic of Indonesia, His Excellency, Mr. Laksana Trihandoko, Head of National Research and Innovation Agency of the Republic of Indonesia, His Excellency, Mr. Hinsa Siburian, Head of National Cyber and Crypto Agency of the Republic of Indonesia, Your Excellencies Ambassadors to the Republic of Indonesia, honorable donors, partners, and collaborators of BGSi that cannot be mentioned one by one. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Salam sejahtera untuk kita semua. Om Swastiastu, Namo Buddhaya, salam kebajikan, Shalom. Pleasant morning to all of you, and welcome to the Eijkman building of Dr. Cipto Mangunkusumo, National Central Public Hospital, Jakarta, Indonesia, on the occasion of the launching of Biomedical and Genome Science Initiative, BGSi, for precision medicine, Sunday, 14th of August, 2022. This outstanding historical building, named after Eijkman, greets you a warm welcome in this beautiful morning. It is really my great pleasure to welcome you all here. My name is Fikri, and I will be your MC for today's event. We are pleased that some of you are able to join us in person today, while some others are joining virtually. We have our colleagues from universities, public health laboratories, and GSAID through the Zoom platform. We do hope that you enjoy our hospitality. As we all know, precision medicine offers tremendous opportunity to shape the future of healthcare. It will allow earlier interventions using advanced diagnostics and tailoring better and economically personalized treatments. And we believe, with the Biomedical and Genome Science Initiative, that future start now. Let's give a big round of applause for BGSi. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, please rise for our national anthem of Indonesia Raya. You may be seated. Praise to Allah subhanahu wa ta'ala, we have been graced by the chance to gather in this momentous event. Before we move on, let us begin with the recitation of prayer that will be led by Mr. Tias Iksan Hikmawan, PhD.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. May peace, prosperity, and blessings be upon us all. Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Alhamdulillahilladzi khalaqal mauta wal hayata liyabluwakum ayyukum ahsanu amala. In the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. Praise be to God who created death and life to test which of us is better in our deeds. Allahumma tawil umurana wa sahih ajsadana wa nawwir qulubana wa thabit imanana wa ahsin a'malana wa wasi' arzaqana wa ilal khairi qaribna wa anis syarri ab'idna. Dear God, today we are asking humbly for you to bestow goodness and blessings on our efforts to improve services for the health and welfare of the community by establishing BGSi. Allahumma ij'al biladana baldatan tayyibatan taradaha waj'al sya'bana sya'ban salihan. O Almighty, please make this country a safe and prosperous country and make its people healthy, happy and peaceful. Subhana rabbika rabbil izzati amma yasifun wa salamun ala mursalin walhamdulillahi rabbil alamin. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Mr. Tias, for the recitation of prayer just now. Now we are pleased to invite you all to watch the video profile of Biomedical and Genome Science Initiative.
Indonesia ranks third in tuberculosis burden in the world with an estimated 824,000 cases and 93,000 deaths per year. Immediate steps are needed to scale up preventative, diagnostic, and treatment services for tuberculosis to break the chain of transmission and reduce the case of multi-drug resistant tuberculosis. Indonesia is also experiencing a rise in non-communicable diseases such as cancer, diabetes, and stroke, and together these diseases put significant pressure on our health system. Every human has a unique DNA sequence, and those differences can influence our susceptibility to disease and our response to treatment. Understanding these will help us improve prevention, diagnosis, and treatment through precision medicine. Biomedical and Genome Science Initiative, BGSi, is Indonesia's first national initiative for precision medicine. With priorities towards 5 high-burden diseases, and a focus on exploiting genomics to improve our well-being and help us through the aging process. BGSi will support the routine use of genomic information to improve public health using an integrated platform that brings together 3 services units: biobank, registry, and bioinformatics. A biobank is a collection of biological samples such as blood or DNA and health information that is stored in specialized facilities and kept in controlled conditions for future use. Our biobank will collect samples for cancer, stroke, diabetes, TB, and psoriasis patients, as well as from healthy volunteers. A registry is a structured data repository that curates information for individuals that are included in a specific population, including information about the disease, clinical information related to each patient, demographic information, and others where this information can be used for clinical or policy purpose. Our registry will connect this information with the samples stored in our biobank, thus ensuring that these samples can be used for further research and innovation. Imagine being able to use samples collected today for research in 10 years' time. BGSi's Bioinformatics Service Unit will focus on supporting the primary and secondary analysis of the whole genome sequencing data, which would then be used to assess gene variation and expression, and other information generated from next-generation sequencing facilities spread throughout Indonesia. BGSi will work closely with 6 hubs, each targeting different diseases, with the support of 7 national hospitals. BGSi will coordinate the spread of 48 next-generation sequencers to Indonesia's research institutions to increase enthusiasm for biogenomic research. Indonesia has begun its journey towards the establishment of a national genomic sequence reference with a plan to collect 10,000 human genome sequences over the next 2 years, as a collaborative effort to support the complete mapping of disease-specific variants in our population. This project requires us to leapfrog several technological aspects, including next-generation sequencing, bioinformatics pipeline, methods for genotyping single nucleotide polymorphisms, and high-performance computing. Those technologies will discover precise medication for each individual based on their genetic profile to make the best therapeutic choice by facilitating predictions on benefits and/or potential side effects after taking a particular medicine. This can only be realized through inclusive participation and collaboration of various stakeholders. We require your support to ensure we can transform healthcare in Indonesia towards the use of precision diagnostics for more personalized treatment and prevention to improve public health.
Let's put our hands together for the great impact that BGSi will create. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen, without ado, I welcome Mr. Budi Gunadi Sadikin, the Minister of Health of the Republic of Indonesia, to give his remarks and report on the progress of BGSi. Your Excellency, the stage is yours.
Pak Luhut, Pak Muhajir, Your Excellencies, ladies and gentlemen, good morning. It is my pleasure to be here, Pak Hinsa also, and Pak Handoko dari BRIN. It's my pleasure to be here. And I remember we started this initiative 9 months ago, including we went to China with Pak Luhut around 6 months ago to Shenzhen. But let me share with you about this initiative. First, my job as by the President is to do 3 things. First is to do vaccinations, second is to overcome the pandemic, and then third job is to do the healthcare reform. And we have 6 strategies on healthcare reform. Next slide. Yeah. Primary care, secondary care, healthcare resiliency, funding, healthcare financing, healthcare human resources, and this initiative, healthcare technology reform. We have 2 technology reform that we would like to do. The first one in the information technology, and the second one is on biotechnology. On the next slide. So this today is about the healthcare reform 6 pillar on the biotech, and why biotechnology is important for us in the future. I'm a physicist, so I realized that in early 90s, there is a scientist called Niels Bohr, Ernst Rutherford, James Dalton, that found the smallest component of a physical thing called an atom. This scientific invention led to a major industrial revolutions: space station, laser technology, nuclear energy, and atomic bomb that changed humanity forever. In the mid of 1940s, 1950s, another scientific invention happened. There is a Bell Labs engineer called Claude Shannon that invented the smallest component of information. So the physicists found the smallest component of physical things. This engineer found the smallest component of information called bits or binary digits. This guy called Claude Shannon, again, changed the industry: microprocessor, computers, internet, Google, Facebook, all major industry that changed humanity happens because of scientific invention of the smallest component of information. And now, ladies and gentlemen, lately there are several people, Rosalind Franklin, Watson, and Crick, that invented another scientific invention, which is the smallest component of human being, the smallest component of living things. It's not only human being, but also plantation and animals, called DNA. And again, this will change industry significantly and will change also humanity significantly. Like atom, the smallest component of physical things, change humanity. Like binary digits or bits, change again humanity. And also DNA, as the smallest component of living things, will change humanity forever. Genome sequencing technology, gene therapy, mRNA vaccine, monoclonal antibodies are the result of this invention. And it will go on and on again in the future. Next slide. So this is examples, because I said to my team, let's focus on the downstream side. The upstream side will be handled by Pak Handoko in BRIN. But how we can translate this research to be a precision medicine, so every people will get treatment that is very precise and personalized to his sickness, depend on his or her particular conditions. So forget about the old type of medicine, when one type of medicine can cure everything. Now every people have a different DNA structure. They will be treated personally and very, very precise. Next slide. And every country want to do this. But we are lucky also about the time, because it's bloody expensive to do this. I learned this when I ran COVID, because to understand the virus, whether it's alpha, beta, gamma, omicron, you need to genome sequence the virus. Virus has 30,000 base pair or component gene. Tuberculosis, bacteria has 4.4 million pairs. Human being has 3 billion pairs. So can you imagine this? At the beginning of this century, every pair to do genome sequence costs $1. So one human genome will cost you 3 billion US. Now, I can sign a contract with $100 US for a complete human genome. So the timing when Indonesia came into this equation is right, because the technology now is extremely affordable for us to coming in. Next slide. The issue is we haven't started, and many other countries have started this. Indonesia is blessed by God because we have a very rich biodiversity and genomic variety. Because genome sequence is very particular. Precision medicine is very particular. If you are Caucasian, if you are Asian, if you are Korean American, it's totally different with Caucasian American. So whatever treatment that is given to you might not working for him, because they are different in genetics. Next slide. And we also realize that many countries that have started, either it is a small country, because they have vision to be the hub for this, or a large country in developed countries. But very rare, large country in developing countries have this initiative, because it's very important for the future of medicine. Next slide. So that's why we launched this one. Again, we will not be a single player. We will act as a platform, collaborative platform where private sector, startup, universities, international companies, research agencies can work together using this platform to leapfrog Indonesia in terms of biotechnology. Next slide. This is the condition when the COVID started. I realized we cannot identify alpha variant at January 2021 because we only have like 12 labs that can do it. You know, in a very short period, in hopefully in 2 years, we will quadruple the number of machines that we have. And we get this majority from donors, from Global Fund. And we will distribute also not only in Java, but also across islands in Indonesia and mostly in universities, because they have research facility, they have researcher, because it is not an easy subject for us to work. Yeah? Next slide. So we also, many people warn me, Budi, if you give it to the scientists, beware. The scientists will see this is a very nice toy and they will spend billions of US dollars producing papers. Because they have a very nice toys and 3 billion, things they can do permutation and combination, and very funny to do, learn about human. So you have to be very focused on what you're gonna do. So I'm very focused, I'm focused on health, human being. So I would like to improve the 6 diseases that is the largest burden, that give us the largest burden, which is infectious disease to hospital. So I'm not giving it to my research or my lab, started with the hospitals. So the hospital will lead. So the product is treatment or therapies or medicine. Rumah Sakit Persahabatan Sulianti Saroso for infectious disease, cancer, led by Darmais, diabetes, led by RCM. It's not only diabetes, but all metabolic disease. Rare disease and genetic disorder, led by Sarjito Jogja, brain and neurodegenerative disease like Alzheimer will be led by Rumah Sakit Putak Osat Nasional, and Beauty and Wellness by Sangla. So by putting the hospital at the as the leader, they will start thinking about the treatment to the clients, not about the research to produce paper or products. Start with the clients, or the client have these issues, then move backward. I think that is the fastest way and the most beneficial way to lead this initiative, execute the initiative. Next slide. So these centers, we will give a large genome sequence device, work with the universities in that particular cities, work with them, and then use the support functions in terms of biorepository, bioinformatics, and also bioregistry at the hub. Because we need a very large capacity at the center. But then we can distribute the research at the hospitals level. And the product, and we will also engage with the pharmacy, startup, university, donors, community, etc. So we can produce those kind of advanced health services in the future. Next slide. And we invested not only more than 50 machines, the government has invested, distributed to all universities in Indonesia. We also invested up to 11 petabyte complete set of bioinformatics. So thanks to Pak Luhut that bring me to Shenzhen, and we can get this deal. So and I will thanks also to Pak Hinsa, because this is so important, the security of the data. Pak Luhut, I put it under Pak Hinsa in BSSN to control the security of the data. 11 petabyte of data, set of bioinformatics infrastructure, the applications, the engineers will be needed there on our payroll. Next slide. Because you remember, every human being needs 3 billion data. So can you imagine if you want to do 10,000, you 10,000 multiplied by 3 billion, and you do permutation and combinations, how to find what are exactly it. What other thing that we do? We are preparing all the law related with it. We have reviewed every country, what are the law and regulation in biotechnology and genome sequencing. We asked our consultant McKinsey to help us, and we identify what are the articles that is needed for us to move forward safely, get the confidence from the public, but also be flexible. Because if we are not flexible, we are as rigid as the other developed country, then we cannot leapfrog. We cannot leapfrog. Okay. Next slide. Next slide. I just give you an example. This is for cancer. So you can have some imagination. If you have a breast cancer, like example, that is the first killer for women in Indonesia. After that is cervical cancer. We identify several genes that can contribute to this cancer. So if you identify there is a mutation in that specific gene, definitely you'll get a cancer. Then you need to be treated. So the famous example is Angelina Jolie. Went to Mayo Clinic, identified the gene that's positive, and Angelina Jolie, before she got cancer, she took the breast. Next slide. Next slide. After cancer, next slide, we can do also something that is not as scary as cancer, for beauty and wellness. It is for obesity. So there is identify 6 genes that contribute to obesity. And we can identify what genes you are, so you can be improved. Maybe for men, we can do also for baldness. For women, also for skin aging, then we can do it. And then we can have a special treatment for this particular diseases precisely and personally. Next slide. Next slide. There is another one, tuberculosis. That is very hot topics, because tuberculosis, they mutate the bacteria. So now we just guessing. We give antibiotics by guessing, oh, this is maybe the type of bacteria. If it doesn't respond, then we give another type of package. So with genome sequence, we can identify precisely what are the genomics, and we can give the right treatment. Yeah? Next slide. So this is the plan. Start today. 2 of the biggest machines were there. One is the Novasec from Illumina, the biggest Illumina machine. Only 2 machines in Indonesia, one in me and one in Brin. We have T7 is one of the biggest machine from China, and Promethean, one of the biggest machine from UK, will come very, very soon. So we have 3 biggest machines in the world that can run genome sequence sitting at the down floor. And we will try to do 10,000, and hopefully I finish with, as the Minister of Health, I can give this legacy. And my successor can continue to 100,000, to 100,000. Like UAE is also doing that. Europe is doing it, UK doing it, US is doing it, and I think US reached 100,000 already. Singapore is also embarking on this initiative. Next slide. And again, to close this, I cannot work alone. Like why vaccination in Indonesia is successful? Because it is not the job, it is not an individual job. We need to do this together. Ministry of Health cannot do this exclusively. We need to do this inclusively. I cannot push this and successful be it and treat this as a program of Ministry of Health. But I need to establish a movement where every one of you will be participating for your own benefit and for your own interest. Next slide. And these are the partners that we are working. I would like to especially say thank you to Global Fund that has given us funding. They said related to the COVID, Budi, because the CEO of Global Fund is a very close competitor of mine. When he was the CEO of Standard Chartered, I was the CEO of Bank Mandiri. But now we moved to health sector. We realized that health sector is more interesting than finance. So Global Fund, he gave us more than 25 million US to buy the machines. Panin Bank, East Ventures, and Biopharma that has helped us in refurbishing this magnificent building. We also get a lot of support from BGI, China, Illumina, United States, and Oxford Nanopore Technology from UK that has been supporting us with the instrument and also with the reagent and expertise. I would like to close that somebody told me, Budi, if you want to go fast, you go alone. But if you want to go far, you have to go together. So thank you, and hopefully the future of Indonesian medicine will be much better than the systems that we have now. Thank you.
Thank you, Minister. We can see how precision medicine will continue to transform healthcare. It is expected with this initiative, it will leverage and improve Indonesia human development. Now, I would like to invite the Minister of Coordinating Ministry for Maritime and Investment Affairs of the Republic of Indonesia to deliver his remarks. To His Excellency Mr. Luhut Binsar Panjaitan, you may have the floor.
Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Selamat pagi. Yang saya hormati Pak Menteri Koordinator Bidang Pembangunan Manusia dan Kebudayaan, Menteri Kesehatan, Kepala BRIN, US Ambassadors, UAE Ambassadors, dan Wakil Duta Besar Republik Rakyat Cina di Indonesia, Global Fund Representative of Beijing Genomic Institute, dan Panin Bank, dan Bapak Ibu hadirin yang berbahagia. We just listened to Minister Budi about so nice presentation. That's all about Indonesia today. We like to move to do some kind of leapfrog. So because if we do like this, with the size of Indonesian population, 278 million, I don't know what's going to happen to this country. So we went together to Shenzhen like 7 months ago. And Shenzhen government briefed us about this Budi Gunawan Sadikin. Yeah, this is but over there they hold the Beijing Genomic Institute, but it stands for here, yeah, Budi Gunawan Sadikin, you know. So I was so surprised and shocked about this briefing that they are so advanced on this area. So then I discussed with Minister Budi, let's do something in Indonesia. There are 3 areas that we can work together. Number 1, I think about human, genomic. So I told Pak Muhajir, I think you can prolong your life to 120 years, you know, because of this technology, you know, because we asked during the, because I asked during the presentation, they said they can also, you know, design a human. I mean, the health, they can, from the genomic, they can see the structure of your body, and then they can fix your whatever. I said, wow. So then my question at the time, can you design human can go, or superhuman? They said yes. Yeah, so then Budi later on told me they're ready to do that, you know. That's why I mean, this is number 1. Number 2, they can go to the agriculture. So agriculture, they can make a uniform of the, for instance, tomato, size of potato, size of garlic, and everything. Number 3, animals. So those 3 areas. Now we are moving. Number 1, health. Number 2, ongoing right now in Lake Toba. I think hopefully by first quarter next year, we can see also the research starting in that area. And number 3, we prepare for animal. So ladies and gentlemen, we are very confident we can do this. Because if you look at what will happen to our economy today, I think very few countries globally able to manage their economy like today. People are quite pessimistic about Indonesia before, but if you look at numbers, we are talking about numbers. I think from our inflation, our economic growth, our export, everything. You look at, I think the number is positive. Although we have also big pressure from inflation because of the food price and the energy price, but we are still able to manage this one. So again, ladies and gentlemen, this is, I think, the breakthrough of government Indonesia, Biomedical and Genomics Science Initiative, and also this inauguration of this sequencing genomic facilities. And like I mentioned earlier, also we are talking about horticultura and agriculture. So I hope BRIN also can also play the very vital roles in the area. But if I may advise, have to be more flexible on this, because cannot be research structure very much. Like in Lake Toba, we give them like in MIT, 30% to the group who has been successful to discover some good shit, so they can also see hope in front of them. Ladies and gentlemen, I think I learned together with Pak Budi during the COVID-19, and we are confident if we are able to manage COVID-19, I think we can also manage the other thing. So that's, I think, building confidence within the government of Indonesia. And we love very much because this collaboration, not only with China, but also with the UAE, G42, and also with US. So we can work with any countries, and also we get support from Bank Panin and also from some other, Etana. I think Etana also play a very vital role, like we are having now problem with mouth and nail disease, but immediately now we can produce our own vaccine using the RMNA technology made in Indonesia. So again, if you give the opportunity to the people of Indonesia, to the scientists of Indonesia, young scientists of Indonesia, anything we can do in this country. Such a big country like Indonesia, with 278 million population, we can do nearly everything. With the support of US, support of China, support of the UAE, support of the so many friends here, I think Indonesia could make a leapfrog in many areas. We prove it already in industry. So some countries thought that Indonesia cannot do it, but we prove it that we can. So if we work as a teamwork, I'm pretty confident everything we want, we can do it right. So like Pak Budi already mentioned about, the center of 6 centers of them, the genomic in Indonesia, like in Jakarta and in Surabaya and Bali. And then we can do it on the agriculture in Lake Toba and also in Central Sulawesi and Central Kalimantan. So ladies and gentlemen, friends, yeah, be proud to be Indonesian. We can do it, whatever it is. Yeah, we are still behind some countries, but not far behind, but we can make a leapfrog. So for me, after COVID, yeah, although COVID still some problem, because I asked just now Pak Budi about the Zero survey. I think we are 98-6%, which is I think very high. And also number of the booster also very high. So we are quite confident. And the discipline to wear a mask also here much better. I just come back from several countries. I think Indonesia considers one of the disciplined people to contain this COVID-19. So similar to other issue, if we are working together, if you always looking a positive side, I think Indonesia can be one of the best country globally. So again, thank you very much for all friends. And to conclude my speech, yeah, I think the data bank of this prepared by Pak Budi, and in Lake Toba, I'm preparing now the research center world class. And I'm pretty confident because that's my baby. And I told Budi, hey, look, prepare it here and prepare it there. Hopefully we can do something, we can see the result before 2024. Again, if we work together, anything we can do together. Thank you very much. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Thank you, Minister. And I would like to ask you to stay on the stage. Now we move on to the inauguration ceremony of BGSi. The organizer will be preparing the stage for the inauguration process. Now I'll welcome back His Excellency Mr. Luhut Binsar Panjaitan with Minister Muhajir Effendi and Minister Budi Sadikin to join to the stage. And I would also like to invite the head of National Research and Innovation Agency, Mr. Laksana Trihandoko, the head of National Cyber and Crypto Agency, Mr. Hinsa Siburian, to accompany the ministers on the stage. As a symbolic indication of the inauguration, I would like to invite all the ministers to put your right palm to the screen at the count of 5 and wait until the loading screen completed before you move to the side of the stage. Now let the countdown begin. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. And with that, the Biomedical and Genome Science Initiative is officially inaugurated. Give a round of applause to BGSi. I would like to invite our VIP guests to join the ministers on the stage in front for photography session. The USA Ambassador to the Republic of Indonesia, the UAE Ambassador to the Republic of Indonesia, the Vice Minister of Health of the Republic of Indonesia, the Vice Minister of State-Owned Enterprises of the Republic of Indonesia. Thank you. Excellencies, distinguished guests, ladies and gentlemen. Our launching session has concluded. Now it is time for a site visit to the genomic sequencing facility for those of you who are interested. This will be followed by the media doorstop event. We invite everyone on the second floor to take a group photo downstairs. Therefore, all distinguished guests on the first floor, I'd like to ask you to stay put and allow the guests from the second floor to go down first. Once again, thank you everyone for gracing our ceremony with your presence. We truly appreciate it. On behalf of the organizing committees, I would like to apologize any inconvenience throughout the event. I end my duty as Master of Ceremony for today's event with wabillahi taufiq wal hidayah. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. We would like to inform that refreshment provided in the foyer of this room. And please be informed that there will be a discussion session between the Minister of Health and the donors after the media doorstop in the main room on the second level. Kindly follow your ushers for more detail.